Hey y'all, welcome back to Money Mondays with Modern Lady Vibes, where we're redefining what it means to be a lady in the 21st century by teaching independence, financial literacy, and business sense. And what do you know? It's Financial Literacy Month. It should come as no surprise that you have to become financially literate in order to become independent. And don't take my word for it. The decree came from Queen Bee herself, where she said, if you're gonna brag, make sure it's your money you flaunt. Depend on no one else to give you what you want. So whether you're brand new to the world of personal finance or you've been around a while and want to make sure that you're on track, stick around as I cover 5 things you should have on your to-do list to ensure that you're well on your way to becoming financially independent, if you know what I mean. The first thing I want you to do is calculate your total monthly take-home pay. And before you think this is a super simple step, I want you to think about various factors that could affect your monthly income. For starters, do you get paid every other week? If so, there's some months where you receive a third paycheck as opposed to the normal 2. In those instances, I want you to consider your monthly income as just the 2 checks. I'll cover in future videos what you can do with that third check as a way to get ahead financially. But the reality is that you are living off 2 checks a month for the most part, and so that's what we want to budget on. If you are a teacher, then perhaps you get paid all of your salary within a 10-month period of time, and the summer months you don't receive any income. Well, in those instances, then what you're bringing in every month is actually more than you actually should be living off of each month, because you're receiving a prorated amount of your income in a shorter period of time. So you'd want to be able to figure out what your actual monthly take-home pay is and live off that lower budgeted amount so that when the summer months come, you're not forced to get a second or third job to pay for your summer expenses. So these are things that I'm talking about when I say you want to figure out what your real monthly income is. For those of you who are gig workers or self-employed and your monthly income varies, or perhaps you work a job where you are hourly and you get overtime pay, I want you to take those things into consideration and look back at your last 12 months of income and figure out what your lowest standard is for monthly income. Maybe a low average, nothing extreme, but a low average that you can live off of, and consider that to be your monthly take-home pay. That will allow you in months where you make more money to start utilizing that extra income for financial gain. The second thing you want to do is make a list of all of your debt. You want to know what kind of debt it is, car loan, student loan, etc., who you owe, the balance, the interest rate, the minimum monthly payment amount, and how much you're currently paying towards it, whether it's nothing at all, the minimum, or a little more, and when you're expected to pay off that debt. You can usually look at the monthly statements to see what the estimated date of payoff is based on how you're currently paying towards that bill. But if not, you can use online financial calculators, plug in the information that you have on the debt, and it'll calculate when you're expected to pay it off and even how much interest you'll owe. Once you have a full accounting of all of your debt, we can now get a better assessment of where you are and what we need to do to either increase your credit score or get the debt paid off, to move you towards being debt-free and financially independent. Now, there may be some of you out there who have debt that you're not currently paying on. Maybe it's in collections or you're a few months behind. It's important to put that debt on your list as well, because we have to address all of the debt that you have in order to get you into a better financial space. And there are systems in place and tips and tricks that you can use to be able to address these issues, talk to your creditors, and get this debt paid off once and for all. The third thing you want to do is figure out what age you want to retire and how much you want to live off of in retirement every year. With that information, you can calculate your financial independence number, or the lump sum amount that you should have saved by the time you retire. Now, I did a whole video on how to calculate your financial independence number, and you can watch that and see all of the information and details behind how that works and why you calculate it that way. But getting your financial independence number is going to help you track your progress to achieving that goal. Now, once you know your financial independence number, you can also figure out how much you should be saving every month starting today until you reach the age of retirement. And you want to make sure that you include any current amount of money you have saved for retirement, whether it's through a previous employer, a current 401k, or even a personal traditional or Roth IRA. So that brings us into the fourth thing you want to do, which is to check with your employer and find out what type of retirement savings plans they have available for you to take advantage of. If you have a 401k plan with your employer and your employer offers an employee match, then you want to make sure that that's the first thing that you are taking advantage of. An employee match is part of your compensation plan. This is money that your employer has built into your salary and benefits package when they hired you. So if you are currently not taking advantage of any employer match, then you are literally leaving part of your salary on the table. So this is something that you want to take care of first and foremost before we jump into step 5. So find out through your HR department what type of retirement savings programs are available, what kind of money your employer is contributing to your plans, and make sure that you start matching that immediately. All right, this brings us to step 5, which is to make a budget. And the reason this is the last step on our beginner's to-do list is because you needed all of the data and information from steps 1 through 4 in order to be able to make a proper budget. You need to know what your actual take-home pay is every month so that you are setting a proper budget maximum so that your expenses don't exceed what you're truly bringing in. You need to know what all of your debts are so that you can take care of your obligations. You need to know what your retirement information looks like so that you can set aside the money necessary to be on track to hit your retirement goals. And you need to know what potential retirement saving plans are available at your work so that you're not leaving any of your salary on the table and you are taking advantage of all the potential tax advantage accounts that you can on your path to financial independence. So with steps 1 through 4 accomplished, now we can look at our budget and create a proper budget. And if you haven't already, please check out my video on how to make a budget, where I lay out step by step exactly what to do to make a budget. And with all of this information that you have, you'll be well on your way to creating a budget that's going to help you achieve your financial goals. All right, that is more than enough to have on one to-do list. And don't by any means think that you need to be able to check every one of these things off in one sitting. There is a lot to unpack here, and if you're just beginning, you want to space it all out, take a couple of days for each action item, and really make sure that you have the proper data and numbers and information that you need before moving on to the next step. This is just a foundational starting point for you, whether you are just getting started on your financial independence journey or your personal finance journey, or even if you've been around for a little bit and you want to just double check that you're on track. Our financial situations change and evolve over time. So even if you're a couple of years down the road, it's always good to come back to these beginning action items and just double check and triple check that everything is still as it was, or that if anything new has popped up, that you're accounting for that as well. Overall, Financial Literacy Month is a great opportunity for beginners and veterans alike to be able to take a look at their finances, do some spring cleaning, and make sure that they have a plan in place that they are following in order to achieve financial independence. And please use this month as an opportunity to be purposeful about increasing your financial education. Whether it's watching videos like this and subscribing to my channel, or listening to podcasts or reading books, the more you learn about personal finance, the easier and more natural it's going to be for you. Knowledge truly is power, and financial knowledge is wealth. Your willingness to increase your financial literacy today could be the very catalyst that changes your family's legacy to one of generational wealth for centuries to come. And that is so exciting to think about. Well, I really hope that you enjoyed this video today. Let me know what action item you're going to start on this week so that I can encourage you along the way. Thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you next Monday.